Okay, so once you've downloaded and installed Lightwright and you open Lightwright, right, you'll get a screen that's like this. And this is just a completely empty document. Yours is probably going to have some text here somewhere that says it's demo. Go ahead and allow it to run in demo mode. Go ahead and just get it open, right? So what we want to do now is connect our Vectorworks drawing to Lightwright so that we have some information there. And what I have is both Lightwright and Vectorworks open. So I'm going to toggle over to my Vectorworks drawing, which is over here, right? And now we have all of this information that we've entered about our light plot, like channel numbers and dimmers and gobos and color, and we have just all kinds of information out here. And I want to connect this now to Vectorworks. Connect the Vectorworks file to Lightwright. The way this is done is that all of the lighting data will then be shared, right? We want to share the lighting data, right, between Vectorworks and Lightwright. And what they do is they use a third file. It's an XML file. It's similar to a Excel file, but it's not quite. And what happens is both programs, Lightwright and Vectorworks, are going to look to that XML file for data. Now, the way that we create that XML file is we go to File in Vectorworks. I go to File, and if I go down to where Document Settings are, it's just about halfway down. And I have two kinds of document settings that I can change there. And what I want to do is change Spotlight Preferences. And if you click on Spotlight Preferences, you're going to get a box that looks like this. Now, you'll want to go down and make sure that you highlight, right, the Lightwright tab. We're also going to want to have the same location as the file, which means that your XML file is going to be in the same location wherever it is that you have stored your drawing file. Now, what are the fields that you're going to want to include? You're going to want to scroll up and down this list. You could probably, here, let's just do a reset defaults. Right? Oh, gosh, that didn't work. Yeah, maybe it did. Right? So let's just go ahead. We don't need the absolute address, so we're going to remove that. Instrument type, yes. Unit number, yes. Gobo 2, we didn't use. Color, circuit name, we did not use. Circuit number, we did not use. We'll remove that. Dimmer, channel, yes. Position, wattage, purpose, yes. User field 1 through 6, all the way through mark. And I'm just going to do a shift select. And I'm going to remove those. Now, I wonder what else we might need. Eventually, we're going to want this DMX universe address. Let's go ahead and add that. The universe, let's go ahead and add that. Let's see if there's something else there. DMX address, let's go ahead and add that, right? So if I'm looking, I don't need the footprint, I don't need any of this other information that's here, right? So we're just talking about the information that we need to pull from Vectorworks over to Lightwright. And this looks pretty complete. The DMX address, the universe address, instrument type, unit number, gobo color, dimmer channel, position, wattage, purpose. We have instrument type. This looks pretty good. Now, what we want to do is you need to make sure that you have this selected up here, right? Perform a complete export on exit. Now, I'm just going to say OK, right? Now, I might need to go back to that. Document settings, Spotlight Preferences, and now I can check that for sure. Now that I've set my export fields up, now I can check that. This has to be a hard check. It can't be grayed out. Let's say OK. So what this has done now has it's saved an XML file, and let's see if I can go to my file manager, right? And it's going to take me a hot second to find it, right? Because I have a bunch of stuff stored on here. Let's go to FSU. Let's go to the Light Lab cab plots. Light Lab drafting positions, and somewhere in here should be an XML file, and it's right here. So my Vectorworks drawing is called Light Lab for drafting class. Yours is going to be named whatever it is, right? And this is an XML file. That's not it. Lighting positions. Here it is, 216, right? XML file at 7:18 this morning, right? So here's that XML file, Light Lab drafting class lighting positions, which is the name of the file that I've been working on. You just want it should be in the same folder, the same directory of wherever it is that you've been keeping your Light Lab drawing. Great. So now let's go into Lightwright. Let's go to Lightwright, and what we want to do is we want to import this information. This is my screen, and if you look right over here, you'll see that there's the little Vectorworks symbol, the little V that's up in the corner. That stands for Vectorworks. And this is going to connect our files. Now, this is just an empty screen right now. It says choose XML file, right? Now, it's gone to the last file that I worked with, which was Cat in the Hat. I've been working on that. Let's go to FSU. Let's go to Light Lab, right? And I know it's in here. And this was the name of the file that I just made this morning, Light Lab drafting class lighting positions. Let's click on that and say open. Absolute field is not do a complete export on Vectorworks using absolute, including the absolute address, right? So there's something that I didn't do right in my Vectorworks file. Let's go back, file. This is good because this can be a pain in the butt to get set up. And once it gets set up, include the absolute address. Here's the absolute address. Let's add that. So now we've included the absolute address. See how we're grayed out up here again? Let's say OK. Now let's do it again. File, Document Settings, Spotlight Preferences, and now let's make sure that that's checked. Perform a complete export. OK. I'm telling you, this is a pain, but once you get it going, it works really good. I'm back in Lightwright. I go to my Vectorworks button, choose Vectorworks XML file. It took me back to the same directory, Light Lab drafting class, light position, say open. Look, now it's populated all of my information here. And now I just say OK. Wait for it. Look, everything has showed up in my file, right? Now everything has showed up in my file. And now I can just do a file. Let's do a save as, right? And what did I call the, where is this? This goes in my FSU folder, and it goes in my Light Lab folder, right? And I'm just in that main directory. And let's call it Light Lab. And for me, it's lighting positions is the file that I've been working on. I'll just change that cap and I'll say save. And so now it's saving that information and it's good. We'll come back and talk about Lightwright in a little bit and some of the power that it has and how it interfaces with Vectorworks in just a minute.